everyone, and welcome back to Yoga TX. My name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be guiding you through a bit of a lower back strengthening. For those of you who've seen the first lower back strengthening video, it kind of helps build up our muscles so we can alleviate some pain. But for those of you who've seen that first video, this is going to take maybe one of those poses and take it a little deeper, a little further, kind of add on to that. So be sure to check out that video as well, and then come back here and see this one again if you like what you see. So we'll get started. We'll go ahead and just start standing up, feet about hips distance apart in this Todd pose. As always, it's good to take a second to close the eyes, to get grounded, to bring yourself completely to your yoga practice and to your mat. Everything else can wait for a few minutes. It'll be there, don't worry. And then inhale, the arms up and overhead, gaze lifts. And just exhale, bend the knees if you'd like, fold forward. Bending the knees kind of helps lay the chest against the thighs, kind of stretches more into the lower back rather than if we lock them out, stretching into the hamstrings a bit more. So just let your low back kind of settle on your thighs, or your belly rather. Let the head dangle. And from here, slowly start to straighten your knees a little. You can leave them bent as well if you'd like. And on an inhalation, slide the palms up the shins, lengthening through the spine, shooting out through the heels, through the hips. Really starting to strengthen that spine a little bit here. Exhale, release. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling to grow long through the spine, rolling the heart forward, neck long. Exhale, release. Twice more, just warming up the spine, lengthening, strengthening, all that fun stuff. Exhale, release. Inhale up. And exhale, release. Planting the palms. We'll just go ahead and step back to downward facing dog. Rooting through the palms, spreading the fingers bright. We'll just go ahead and step the right toes forward, walking the feet a little east and west so they're kind of on train tracks. We'll spiral that back heel down, back toes point at about a 45-degree angle towards the front of the mat, really squaring the hips as we root down. Maybe you step that back foot in a little. And inhale, arms up overhead, coming into warrior one. So we square the hips, we step the feet out a little so that we're not crunching in that low spine, but really giving our sacrum a little room, our low back a little room to exist. 2 more breaths here. And then exhale, go ahead and hug that right thigh, releasing your chest towards the thigh. And from here, sending your palms back out. Shoot through the back edge of that back foot and lift your chest off the thigh. Gaze is down, neck is long, heart rolls open. Again, strengthening into that back. Take 1 more deep breath here. See how much longer you can go from back heel to crown of head. And exhale, release, palms to the mat. Stepping back into that downward facing dog. On an inhalation, we'll go ahead and step the right toes forward here. Spiraling that back heel down. Left toes, sorry, did I say right? Other side. Squaring those hips down to the mat, pressing through the feet. And inhale as we roll the heart up. Again, you can draw your hands to the hip and use that to help square a little bit. Lifting the gaze slightly. Again, not crunching in the low spine by lifting the gaze too intensely. Really lengthening up out of our low back. On an exhalation, we'll hug that left thigh. Chest rests against it. Drawing the palms back, almost like you're gonna fly like a superhero. Shoot back through that back heel. pulling the palms back, and the crown of the head shoots forward. Chest lifts off the thigh, still squaring those hips. 2 more breaths here. Really lengthening through that spine. And exhale, go ahead and release, stepping back to plank pose. We'll lower all the way down. So we're gonna play a little with Shalabhasana, Locust Pose here. So for those of you who are familiar, the traditional version of this pose, or one of the variations of it, starts with the palms face down by the hips. And you'll inhale, roll the heart open, lift the fingertips, lift the toes, gaze down, neck long, heart open, spine really lengthening. And exhale, release. You can turn one cheek to the mat. And then that's one variation of it. So we'll start, get situated a little more on my mat here, make sure your cheeks supported. So we'll start with that, and then we're gonna come into a different variation of this pose. So bringing the arms long overhead, the gaze is down. Still lengthening up. We'll lift the right arm out and lift the left leg tall, really pulling yourself almost as if you're on a string through your body and someone's pulling from both directions, keeping the other hand and other foot firmly rooted down, lifting the chest maybe a little higher, lengthening through that spine, and exhale, release. We'll switch to the other side, inhaling the left hand, right leg up, lengthening long, gaze down. They do these types of exercises a lot in physical therapy. They're fabulous for your back. Exhale, release. And then this time we'll use both hands and both feet, lifting them both off the mat. That same locust pose, except the arms are extended overhead, kind of like you're Superman. We'll take one more deep breath here. And exhale, release. Turning one cheek to the mat, pausing for a second. We'll come into a variation of this locust pose once more. So turning the forehead down. We'll inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs, palms face down, and then just kind of start alternating like you're almost swimming a little bit. Maybe you get your rhythm. Slowly take 2 more breaths. Again, lengthening rather than crunching. Really just gently floating through a pond here. And exhale, release. Maybe draw the palms underneath your cheek to create a pillow. Allowing your toes to touch, heels to roll open. Turning the opposite cheek to the mat. Evening it out. And we'll go on and coming back through the center. Just press yourself up through tabletop. And if you've got a block, go ahead and take it. Separate your heels, your knees can stay touching. And just sit on the block. This can help kind of settle your low back. So rather than arcing forward or dumping backwards, really try to find that nice middle ground. Maybe move the flesh a little out from underneath you. This is a great meditation pose as well for those of you who find that a regular kind of Sukhasana, easy cross-legged pose pulls on your back too much. Sitting for longer periods of time during meditation, I definitely recommend this as an option. We'll take 2 more breaths. Shifting the block off to one side. We'll go ahead and just sit over to one side, sticking the legs out in front of us. Again, move the flesh out from underneath the sits bones. If you need to, feel free to bend the knees here again so that we're not dumping back on the spine, but really finding that length through the spine, palms just rest lightly by the hips. If you have long arms like I do, you can bend the elbows a little so that our arms aren't up by our ears, our shoulders don't crowd our neck. And really just sit up tall here, flexing actively in the feet, rolling the heart open, noticing what a challenge it can be sometimes to just sit up and breathe. This is a great way to improve your posture, and by improving your posture, you can get that six-pack or whatever you want. It helps tone our core, helps tone our spine. It can improve our breath even. We'll take one more deep breath here. And exhale, release. Rolling all the way down to our backs. We'll just hug the knees in towards the chest, giving ourselves a good squeeze here, maybe massaging the sacrum a little against the mat. And then we'll roll over to one side. This is a great way to get up, especially if you have back problems. Use your hands to kind of press yourself up sideways, coming to a comfortable seat here. Sitting tall for a moment. Again, noticing the difference between when we sat with our hips to our heels and what it feels like sitting cross-legged, and maybe the difference that it holds on your back. Thank you everyone for sharing your practice with me today. Hopefully by practicing these few exercises regularly, you'll notice a difference in your back pain and your posture and just in your overall quality of life. If you like the video, please be sure to like us, give us a thumbs up, follow the channel, follow my playlist, and come back and practice with us some more. Thank you. Namaste.